Now on 767 News, Dominica ranks 4th in world alcohol consumption. Government and private sector discussed new proposed banking act and 2 dead following string of vehicular accidents. In sports, Southwest captures primary schools district football championship title for the 3rd consecutive year. Welcome to 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Stay with us for the latest news stories and updates after this break.
Let's see how easy it is to play Powerball and win. Simply select 4 numbers from 1 to 30 and a Power Pick number from 1 to 5, and that's it. You have just selected your winning numbers for Powerball, or just get a quick pick and let the machine select your lucky numbers for you. Remember, Powerball is drawn every Wednesday and Saturday from 9 p.m. Powerball from the Dominica National Lottery.
Welcome back. In tonight's newscast, police are currently investigating 2 road fatalities which occurred within 24 hours of each other. Police PRO ASP Claude Wicks said the first fatality involves a Portsmouth man.
Police are investigating a road fatality which occurred on the Tatton Public Road, and that took place on Tuesday, the 20th of April 2015. George of Portsmouth. He was driving RAV4, registration PK374, and he was driving this vehicle along the Tatton Public Road when he hit or collided with a post, a utility pole on the said road. He sustained very severe head injuries, and as such was transported to the hospital at Portsmouth and then moved or referred to the Princess Margaret Hospital.
George was pronounced dead at the hospital by a medical doctor at about 1:15 a.m. on Wednesday, April 29th. A post-mortem examination is expected to be convened to be followed by a coroner's inquest. Police investigation into the Tatton accident continues. Meanwhile, 52-year-old Wesley bus driver Calvin Williams, who was strapped in his bus following the free vehicular accident under the Canefield Cliff on Monday, April 27th, has succumbed to his injuries.
We have begun our investigations into further investigations into that report, and of course a post-mortem is expected to be performed and a coroner's inquest to be opened.
Williams was one of 5 individuals admitted to the Princess Margaret Hospital following Monday's accident. And in other stories, 6 fringe events have been organized from May 17th through May 23rd, leading up to the 6th Jazz and Creole Festival, expected to take place at the Cabritz National Park in Fort Shirley on May 24th. Those events present an opportunity for patrons to enjoy the jazz atmosphere before the big day. Monique Jacob, marketing executive for the Discover Dominica Authority, DDA, expounded on the activities during a press conference on Thursday.
We will have 6 fringe activities this year, starting on Sunday, May 17th at the Champs in Portsmouth. And on Tuesday, no event on Monday. On Tuesday, we go over to Alias Forces, and Stanislas Rene will give us some details on that event. On Wednesday, we go to the Evergreen Hotel. On Thursday, we are at Anchorage Hotel. On Friday, we are at the Fort Young Hotel. And on Saturday, we are at Riverstone Bar and Grill.
The Alliance Française de la Dominique and the Fort Young Hotel have also organized activities prior to the big event and have invited the public to come out and have fun. Stanislas René, director of Alliance Française, said the organization is more than a French learning center, but is dedicated to promoting culture and has a particular interest in music.
So this year we invite the audience to a unique event entitled Cine Jazz on Tuesday the 19th of May at 6:30 p.m. at the Alliance Française. Cine Jazz will give you the opportunity to explore the origins of Begin, with a fantastic entertaining movie entitled Begin. written by Patrick Chamoiseau, who is a French writer for Martinique, and set in Saint-Pierre, Martinique.
The movie tells the story of a musical genre which began in Saint-Pierre, Martinique, and was shot to fame in New Orleans. The movie will be in French and Creole and is free of charge. French wines and hors d'oeuvres will be served at the event. Meanwhile, the Fortune Hotel will host its annual Jazz Friday Fringe event under the theme "Tis the Season to be Jazzy."
So this year, the Fortune Hotel will be holding its annual Jazz Friday Fringe event. And this year, the event is under the theme "Tis the Season to be Jazzy." The event will begin at 7 p.m. and it ends at midnight with a first performance by Asher Thomas, followed by a special surprise performer, and then we'll have Brave from 10 p.m. to midnight.
This week, the DDA also announced that the Western Michigan University Jazz Band, Masquinada, will be the final act for the 6th annual jazz event. They will join Arturo Tapin, Ronald Toole, Ralph Tamar, and Dominica's own Michael Henderson at the main stage event. Dominica's Jazz and Creole 2015 is presented by the Government of Dominica with headline partner Discover Dominica Authority and gold partner Digicel. Jazz and Creole tickets are on sale now at $75 with group specials at $60. In other stories, several private sector stakeholders on Wednesday gathered at the Financial Center building to discuss what the government should consider in its 2015-2016 budget as it relates to social and economic development through the private sector and to give input on a proposed Banking Act for 2015. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who chaired the consultation, said that the government's projected growth in 2015 for the country's gross domestic product, GDP, is anticipated at 2.4%. It is expected that with assistance from private and public stakeholders, the construction, tourism and agricultural sectors will lead the 2015 economy with a 1.3% increase than that of 2014, which stood at 1.1%.
Since the elections of 2014, government has made it clear that for the economy to grow faster, there must be greater diligence in the implementation of public sector projects, and productivity must increase in both the public and private sectors. Government has in the past taken action that we hoped would have encouraged the private sector to invest more.
The Prime Minister is confident that with greater diligence by the private sector and increased productivity in both the private and public sectors, the economy will grow significantly in 2015. The private sector representative bodies and unions also delved into consultation on the newly proposed Banking Act following a series of consultations by the government and financial banking institutions. Prime Minister Skerrit said this new Banking Act will focus on the regulation and supervision of the financial services sector and, if regulated, will replace the 2005 banking legislation.
The new Banking Act presents some major changes to the current act, which was passed in 2005. I will highlight some of these areas. The central bank will be the licensing agent for issuance of banking licenses, instead of the current arrangement where the Minister for Finance, after consultation with the central bank, issues the license. As such, the application is to be made to the central bank.
The Authority of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, will also cover the provision for grants or denial of licenses, the approval of new business premises or financial institutions, and the authority to take remedial action against directors, officers, employees, and significant shareholders if it is found that they contribute to the demise of financial institutions. The criteria for determining whether or not a person is fit or proper to be a director or significant stakeholder and a number of other new provisions are also included in the proposed act. The Prime Minister explained that this proposed act is a uniformed legislation and does not depend solely on the recommendations of financial institutions in Dominica.
It must be the same legislation which exists in other monetary council, monetary union countries. And therefore, any changes suggested would have to be referred back to the central bank for its review and analysis, and where deemed necessary, those amendments will be brought to the Parliament to be effected. But Dominica cannot make changes on its own because we are part of the monetary union.
Prime Minister Skerrit said it is necessary as the currency union to recognize the present challenges, to put forward legislation and other systems to counteract those challenges, and to be proactive with regards to the future of the EC dollar. And Dominica has ranked 4th in the world as it relates to alcohol consumption per capita. This was revealed by Research and Information Officer in the National Drug Abuse Prevention Office, Martha Jarvis, during a national consultation on the formation of a strategic plan for alcohol and other drug abuse prevention on Wednesday.
And the data is important to back up our observation that we're doing on a daily basis, and during festivals or Christmas time, that we see a lot of young people consuming alcohol openly. I mean, you go on the bayfront and they have their bottles and they are drinking away. So this data is just supporting that what we see on a, not maybe a daily basis, but during the festival seasons and on Christmas time.
Jarvis reported that Dominicans consume alcohol at almost all social events.
There's a christening, alcohol. Somebody dies, alcohol. Somebody get married, alcohol. Somebody performs well at common entrance, alcohol. You know? So when you hatched, when you're matched, and when you dispatched, alcohol.
She said 3 surveys also indicated that alcohol consumption is also high among secondary school students.
So what they use is a SIDUC methodology where we surveyed students from the secondary schools and the college. So we looked at the 2nd, 4th, and 6th form. And this survey was conducted 3 times in Dominica, in 2001, 2012, and 2011. And just a snapshot of 3 of the most prevalent drugs that are used among the secondary schools. And we see that alcohol is a dominant feature among the, and we're looking at lifetime consumption of alcohol among the students surveyed, followed by cigarettes and marijuana.
Jarvis says a lot more effort is needed to effectively tackle the issue of alcohol consumption on the island. Up next, Prime Minister weighs in as 3 men are convicted on counts of sexual assault, and DFC awards Carnival participants at its latest prize-giving ceremony. More details when 767 News returns.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Be part of the excitement. Tune in to the Tiny Green Show every other Monday on Digicel Play TV, Channel 3. Thanks for staying with us. At the High Court today, Thursday, yet another man, Sean Pinard, pleaded guilty to indecent assault and will be sentenced on May 29, 2015. Pinard joins another man from the north of the island who now awaits sentencing on a sexual matter after he was found guilty of 3 offenses. A 9-member jury returned the verdict on a Wednesday afternoon, finding Fagan John Hope guilty of unlawful sexual intercourse, indecent assault, and buggery on a female minor just under the age of 10. The incident occurred between July 1st and October 2012. During his arraignment at the opening of this session, John Hope had pleaded not guilty. He will be sentenced on May 25th. Meanwhile, just Monday, another Northern man, 36-year-old Cliff Elijah Charles, pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse and admitted to the offenses of unlawful sexual connection on 2 minors below the age of 9 on 2 separate incidents on the same day in December of 2012. He was sentenced to 6 years for each offense, which was reduced to 4 years since he had already spent 2 years on remand while he awaited trial. The 2 4-year sentences are to run consecutively. As part of Charles's sentence condition, he must be evaluated and treated by a psychiatrist during his term in prison. And as sexual offense cases continue to be brought before the court as part of the January assizes, the Dominica public is concerned that the perpetrators of these crimes are not being given satisfactory sentences. This week alone, 2 men, Cliff Elijah Charles and Fagan John Hope, were convicted of statutory rape of female minors under the age of 10. John Hope was convicted for the rape of a 9-year-old female, while Charles was convicted on 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with female minors ages 6 and 7 at the time. Charles, 36, of Penville, was handed down an 8-year jail sentence, while John Hope awaits sentencing. Speaking with the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit on Wednesday, media personnel was made to understand that the minister responsible for such matters will address the public. Prime Minister Skerrit did not give a time for which the address would be made, but rather expounded his opinion on sexual matters and the legislation which guides its verdicts. The Prime Minister said even with the harshest laws, it is difficult to prevent sexual abuse in our society, most times due to relative or family interference. He explains it doesn't augur well when victims are encouraged to recant their statements or drop a case made against a sexual perpetrator to save face or as means of finance. Although legislation guiding sexual misconduct in Dominica is relatively strong, he said, it is imperative that we adopt a community approach when dealing with such matters. And in other news, winners of various Carnival events held during Mass Dominique 2015 received their prizes and awards for their participation at the annual prize-giving ceremony on Wednesday. Among the recipients were pageant participants from the Miss Dominica pageant and teenage pageant, Lapo Cabwit bands such as the Newtown Lapo Cabwit and dance groups. CEO of the Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, said Dominica's Carnival is a celebration of our rich history and is an integral part of our festival tourism product, which showcases our culture.
Stated goal for Carnival was to provide an outlet of expression to the various art forms of Dominica's heritage, thereby creating an avenue to market the destination to visitors to come and experience the authentic artistic expression. Dominica's Carnival, the real mass, celebrates our rich history and ability to transform our culture and daily experiences into music and entertainment. As you know, Dominica focuses on the 3 pillars of nature, culture, and adventure, and Carnival is an integral part of Dominica's festival tourism product.
Speaking on behalf of the General Manager of Lime for Dinah Frampton, Senior Marketing and Communications Executive, said Lime is proud to invest in Dominica's Carnival and other aspects of its culture.
Lime is a company that takes its corporate social responsibility very seriously, and we've demonstrated that over the years. And our contribution to Carnival is testimony of our investment and our interest in the sustenance and continuation of our island's rich cultural history, which we see demonstrated very prominently during our Carnival celebrations. And we are proud to have been the headline sponsor of this year's Carnival, and we've been for a few years, and we will continue to be, I suspect, to make that contribution to Dominica's Carnival and all the other aspects that we supported this year.
Minister of Tourism and Urban Renewal, Honorable Senator Robert Tong, said Dominica's Carnival is referred to as one of the most spontaneous and original carnivals in the Caribbean, with a unique blend of traditional mass.
Dominica's Carnival is truly a unique blend of traditional mass, which incorporates modern elements while maintaining its authenticity. This authenticity, uniqueness, and spontaneity is in fact our comparative advantage. It is what will help Dominica's Carnival retain its rightful place as a special festival to be experienced by many.
That's it for the local segment of tonight's newscast. The latest in sports is coming up next with Larry LaRocque, so stay tuned.
I love family traditions, don't you? The fun you have when you're all together, preparing a meal that you'll all enjoy. Having the right kitchen appliances help bring it all together, and you can find them at Quartz. Appliances that give you more, fridges that keep food fresher, stoves that cook meals better. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. For small and large kitchen appliances, Quartz, bringing value home.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. The Southwest has captured the 2015 National Bank of Dominica's Primary Schools District Football Championship title for the third consecutive year. The final round of the Sports Division Organized Championship took place at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth on Wednesday, April 29th, when the 4 schools which made it to the semi-finals went on a quest of gaining the bragging rights of being called the top football district at the primary schools. The first semi-final match took place between the Southwest and the North, and at the end of regulation time, it was the Southwest which won that match 2-1. The second semi-final match was between the East and Valley Central. The East won 2-1. A match to determine the third place team was played between the Valley Central and North districts, and it was the North that came on top, winning that match convincingly with a score of 4-0. It was then time for the grand final, and the top 2 teams on show were the Southwest and the East. After an exciting match, the Southwest won the encounter 2-0, walking away with the championship trophy for another year in the NBD Primary Schools Football Championship. The Sports Division organized 2015 NBD Primary Schools Football Championships for the boys was won by the St. Luke's Primary, and the Girls Championship was won by the Sansovre Primary. The National Bank of Dominica sponsored the championship to the tune of EC $15,000 and will host a ceremony for all the winners in June of this year. A number of students from various secondary schools on the island gathered at the Mero Beach on Thursday, where they participated in the Sports Division organized second annual Beach Volleyball Festival. The students heard remarks from coordinator of the Sports Division, Trevor Shillingford, in addition to Honorable Kelva Daru, parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, who both advised the students on the importance of discipline. Take a listen.
That you, as young people, you have to continue to be disciplined. Because in sport, a lot of times our emotions can take control. And we've seen it happen several times. But you have to continue to be disciplined and remember that the sport that you are playing can take you very far. But if you are ill-disciplined in the sport, chances are that you will not make it very far. So at the end of the day, you have to demonstrate sportsmanlike attitudes and behavior on the field. You have to respect the officials, you have to respect your opponents, and you also have to respect your teammates, because that is very important.
Honorable Daru said, if there is conflict between teammates, it will result in the failure of any team, hence the reason for proper communication and cooperation among all team members. He also advised the students to respect their opponents, which is necessary for sporting activities. Honorable Daru also commended the sports division and sports officers for their continued work in the development of sports at primary and secondary schools.
I have seen some of them at work in my community, and I must say the dedication and the commitment to the development of sport on this island is unparalleled to anything that I have seen. And I want to continue to encourage all the sports officers to continue to play a very important role in developing the young minds and our young people. Today, you are here to participate in a beach volleyball tournament. And I must say that beach volleyball is an international sport. It is one that has received a lot of recognition, particularly at the Olympics. And I'm hoping that those of you who are here today will not only participate today in this activity, but you will continue to develop yourself and your skills in the area of beach volleyball.
Meanwhile, Sports Division Coordinator Trevor Shillingford advised the students to take the sport seriously as it is growing internationally.
As we are aware, beach volleyball is an Olympic sport and it holds tremendous potential for us in Dominica. This is why the Sports Division has embarked on this particular mission to prepare our students to one day represent their country at the highest level, and that is at the Olympic Games. Before making it through to the Olympic Games, there are other age group competitions that would target you young volleyball players. And I can speak here of the Commonwealth Youth Games, which will be held in 2017 in St. Lucia. And beach volleyball is going to be one of the sporting disciplines which will form part of this particular game.
Shillingford said the division is hopeful that for the 2017 Commonwealth Games, Dominica would have had a number of individuals who qualified for beach volleyball and other sporting disciplines.
I want to encourage you to continue participating in sports. The sport of volleyball is a very exciting one that can bring a lot of satisfaction to you as a young person. And we know young people love excitement, and I can guarantee you that the sport of beach volleyball will provide you with that excitement.
In last year's inaugural festival, the Cassibru Secondary School won the girls division and the Northeast Comprehensive School won the boys division. Larry Larrock reporting for 767 News. In football, Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald Judge, has the report on matches played in the Secondary Schools Girls League held this week.
On Tuesday, Goodwill Secondary went on a bold spree as they hammered St. Martin Secondary 13-2 at the Lindo Park. Kimberly Eli from the back of the net 5 times for Goodwill Secondary, with Naya Detush and Chanel Nichols registering hat-tricks. Renata Baker scored 1, with Goodwill also benefiting from an own goal. Shania Active and Emanuela Bertrand scored 1 each for St. Martin Secondary. On Wednesday, Romelcia Phillip registered a hat-trick to pilot the Dominica Grammar School to a 4-1 victory over Wesley High School, also at the Lindo Park. Maya Lawrence scored the other goal for DGS. Latisha Charles converted for Wesley High School. Meanwhile, in the DFA All-Island League last night, Campbell Ballers could not field a team against Cassibru at the Baffin State playing field, while at the Pori playing field, the match between Petro Caribe Point Michelle and A.M. Pinatsu Fresh Spartans did not take place due to low light at the Pori playing field.
And in basketball, in Week 5 of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association 2015 National League, the Premier Division Player of the Week award goes to Ethan Boland of the Hibiscus Valley Inn Warriors. He grabbed the season-high 20 rebounds in addition to 17 points, 1 assist, 1 steal and 1 block in a losing effort against the Super Eagles on Sunday evening in Portsmouth. The Division 1 Player of the Week award goes to Rich Blaze of the LA Knights, who led his team in a win against Interschool, scoring 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Each player will receive a IREP 767 fitted hat sponsored by IREP 767. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. And now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Dominica ranks 4th in world alcohol consumption. Government and private sector discussed new proposed banking act, and 2 dead following string of vehicular accidents. In sports, Southwest captures primary schools district football championship title for the 3rd consecutive year. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening and thanks for watching.